Skate.Park is arguably one of the best skate park building implementations I've ever seen into a video game. I used to love messing around with it when I was younger, building all sorts of crazy parks, trying to recreate real life parks, whatever. I also need a park builder for this game because I want people to be able to be sociable and share their creations and have really cool things. So let's recreate it. So one of the first things I did is I jumped straight into Blender and started modeling some base prefabs for the park. I wanted a square and I wanted a kicker, all dimensioned the same way, and then I moved on and started texturing them. Now, the texturing is meant to be a slight homage to that of Skate 3. I don't know how many of you guys played Skate 3, but the stock wooden parts were this black felt kind of material, like a stapled fabric over a plywood base. So I wanted to recreate that, and I think they turned out pretty good. Now I had to move on to actually implementing the system that's going to let me place these things around within the game. Now luckily, prior to this project, I had spent a lot of time working on a custom editor for a different gig, and I was able to just pull that over and practically get it working straight away. Not to say it wasn't without its difficulties. You know, I had to change a couple of things here and there, and then one of the major things that I kept thinking of was, oh shit, we need to be able to actually save this, and we need to actually be able to share this. So as mentioned in the prior video, I want to use the Steam Workshop for distribution of these maps, so I need to figure that out. I haven't actually got as far as figuring that out just yet, but right now we can save the files, which you'll see at some point later on in the video. And check it out. So here's me building a first little basic park test. I implemented this really neat snapping system that uses triggers on each vertice, or like each vertice of the bounding box, so that the meshes are always mathematically snapped together. This should reduce kind of issues with alignment, etc., and just lead for a cleaner experience. I do want to kind of change this maybe a little bit so that it snaps actively while you're moving it, instead of like a kind of retroactive, oh, I'm close to something, let me move myself and snap. But it works for the meantime. The next piece I wanted to implement was kind of a Unity inspired playtest. So there's a little button at the top and you can click that, and once you click it, it'll spawn you a BMX rig or a scooter rig or a skateboard rig, and you can ride around the park, test the flow, and then really quickly come back to the editor and make changes. Another really epic thing that I implemented, so I went and bought this asset. I was planning on writing my own system for generating these ramp shapes and having custom sizes on all these ramps and have them actually be mesh generations so that everything's kind of procedural. But then I realized that somebody had already made it and it was an asset, so I might as well just spend the 10 bucks and save myself a tremendous amount of time. So I implemented it. Then the final thing that I needed to implement was saving and loading. So I didn't get as far as implementing the workshop like I wanted to, but as of right now, you can save the entire scene and load the entire scene in one swoop. So I have this parent object that kind of controls all of the objects beneath it. I call one save function on that, and then with that save function I can stick it in a directory and then say, hey, I want to upload this to the Steam Workshop, but I just haven't got that far yet, like I said. And there you have it, 3 minutes of me implementing a Skate.Park type feature into my game. I think it turned out pretty well. It's super fun to build and play with. One advantage to the skate system that I have is I don't have these silly restrictions. I understand why they had the restrictions, but we're on modern hardware now and we're on a computer, so I can remove the limits for placing and destroying objects. I can also remove the limits on the physics-based props. I have plans of implementing props that are functionality based, so you could have trigger props or score counter props or teleporter props or jump pad props, just silly things that kind of can add to the map building experience and make it a lot more fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, drop a comment if you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe as well. I saw a statistic yesterday that 99% of the people that watch my videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you guys could subscribe, it would help me out a butt ton. There's a Discord link in the description, and along with a Patreon link. Feel free to check both of those out. Any support is greatly appreciated from those other channels. And yeah, see you soon, guys.